Okay, ladies, a very warm welcome to tonight's session, which is super exciting because this is officially the kickoff of the Reach Your Greatness stories, which are 100 women in 100 days. That's what I went out with in terms of my vision. And this is going to be the kickoff of the first book. And hopefully you've all been at the webinar and you kind of know the story and what we're trying to do. And of course now you are already inside the Facebook group, so this is the official kickoff where we'll actually give you the detail in terms of how we're going to go about this now. All right, so I'm super excited and a huge welcome. And congratulations, because this is the start where we are going to embark on a journey together, right? Because we're here to also help other women and charity with the work in this project that we're launching. And of course, we want to become visible as business owners, as entrepreneurs, and we want to create this wonderful masterpiece. And we want to open up new opportunities into our lives, right? Because I think this will really open up a wonderful, a wonderful community in itself, but also a wonderful opportunity for PR and visibility, positioning yourself as an expert, as you know. And my vision for this team really is to work as a united team and to produce this book and launch this project with maximum impact, effort, and of course fun. So it's not all doom and gloom. I mean, yes, there's going to be work involved, but as I said, we will try our best to support you however we can. And of course, we are always open for feedback and how we can make things smoother and better. And if something's not working or you're not getting the answers on time or vice versa, then obviously let's be open and let's communicate this as well. So what are we going to do today? Today we are here to officially launch the book, the writing of the book, the production. Okay, so it's not quite there yet in terms of launching it to the public. This is the internal launch, and to celebrate the next level in our lives and in business, because with this commencement of this global project, you can really pat yourself on the back and say, this is going to be super excited. This is going to take me to a next level, and it's going to bring me into this amazing community with, bearing in mind what we are creating is going to be just super fantastic and help so many other women. And also it's the main, the main idea is to help you get the necessary tools for your next steps, especially for the writing phase. Then I'll talk about the timescales and expectations and ways of working. And I'll talk a little bit about referrals as well. And then we also have time for Q&A, of course. So this is just a reminder of the rough process, and I know Nazreen will actually go into that in much more detail with some time scales behind this. And of course, if you feel, oh my gosh, I'm not sure if I can keep to these time scales, please talk to us and we'll try to help you as much as we can with this as well. Okay, I am just about to finalize the welcome pack, which actually has a little contract in there as well as guidelines. So after today, we will actually issue that to you as well, and a little welcome, like a welcome email as well. So you are already in the Facebook working group, which is good. So if you aren't and you see this presentation, then please make sure you look for Reach for Greatness Stories co-authors. That's the book working group where we are actually going to interact. So if you can, make sure you add that Facebook group onto your shortcuts. There's a way to do this in Facebook, so that you'll always sort of see what's going on as well and see the posts, because that's quite important. Because I guess that's the main way of communicating with you throughout the production and the launch of the book as well. So you will then submit your story, which should be around 500 to 1,000 words. And I know and can be a bit challenging to package everything into 1,000 words. And that's where we need Nazreen's guidance. Okay, there will be a Google folder where you will be able to submit that stuff, and that should happen within sort of the next 2 weeks or so. Okay, so we'll tell you more detail. If you really struggle and you need Nazreen to ghostwrite, that means she probably interviews you, or you give her an audio or something like this, then obviously she can do this at an additional fee as well. But the idea is that you submit your story, and then she will actually look at it and then see what needs tweaking or how we can make it better, and of course do all the proofreading as well. Then Nazreen will also write a short synopsis of your story that you can then use for your blog, social media promotion, and we can use that for the podcast and the TV as well. So I'll talk about this in a minute. So that will be written for you. You also submit your bio, about 75 to 100 words, so literally very short, and say what you do, and a link to your business, your profile picture, and the link can be a Facebook page if you don't have a website, whatever you think is most suitable. Okay, so one link. After submission, the story will actually go into editing, so Nazreen will go through that, and then you will receive final version, and of course you need to approve that final version, and once you're happy with it, then you'll actually sign off, say yes, I'm happy with it, because we want to make sure that we have that sign off from you as well, so that that you're 100% happy with what's going to be submitted and obviously printed. Then it's going to go into design typesetting, and that's where we can't really change anymore, right? Because as you can imagine, all of the text will actually go then to a typesetter who will make sure that all the formatting and the interior design of the book is all there, so that it will be formatted for Kindle and the print version, and then the cover, the book cover, will be designed and revealed. So all of that will happen after that, and then we will actually do a launch webinar around about 2 weeks prior to launch, and that will be led by Parul, who's also in the group. So I'll actually introduce the two ladies in due course, and then we'll do a launch countdown. Of course, we'll do everything in the group. We may even start a group chat if we need to keep you up to date more on a regular basis, what we're going to do. Well, like for example, tomorrow the Kindle version's available. How can we best utilize what we've got and really market this to the best of our abilities all together, right? And that's why we're doing this project together, because we have the power, multiple power, rather than you writing your own book on your own. So we are like 25 women that can all market at the same time. And of course, we will let you know where all the versions are available, when can you get the print versions, etc., etc. Okay, so that will all be organized. And if you wanted to, buy the book for yourself as well, how can you get that? So that logistics will all be, we'll let you know at the launch webinar. And of course, we'll do some launch activities together, and of course, we will celebrate the big style, okay? Because we will all have earned that celebration. So let me talk a little bit more about ways of working. Okay, so first and foremost, yes, use the Facebook group for general questions. Tag Nazreen for any copy questions, like general questions, right? And Parul for launch questions. And if you're not sure, then just tag me. Please do not submit your stories into the group, because they may get lost. We actually have a separate folder for that, okay? So a Google folder will be shared in the pinned post, where all the templates will be available. So we will issue you with a template if you need one in terms of you writing the story, and the welcome documents will be there as well. Now you need to submit the story, a profile picture, a bio into the Google folder. I'd like you to ensure that all files are named in this way. So for example, story _ your name _ today's date _ version, say 1, right? because then when Nasreen goes in and makes any changes, of course she will find your story straight away because it's got your name and it's labeled with story, and then she can then change it to version 2. And then also with the same, so I've got like a little example there, story _ Sabine Mataro. And well, if you're in Europe, let's use the European way, please. So it's the day 04, so 4th of September today, 09/2018 _ version 1. And then with the profile picture, you would literally name it profile picture _ your name. And the bio would be bio _ your name. Okay, so I think that will make it much easier. Of course, as you can imagine, if we are handling 25 different stories and we're pulling everything together, we need to make sure all the files are labeled in the correct manner and that we don't lose the different versions. So there are a couple of legal aspects, and possibly Nasreen will go a little bit more into that. Of course, we have the welcome pack that we'll issue. There are a couple of terms and conditions which are generic stuff to do with that. Of course, you are dealing with Reach for Greatness Limited, so it's a limited liability company, and of course I don't want to be sued because someone writes some names someone else in a story and that person comes back, and so we've got to be a bit careful in terms of how we're going to write about other people and how we're going to portray other people. Okay, but Nasreen knows all that. Okay, and there's the things around loyalties, of course, and claims and stuff like this, so that will all be in the terms and conditions document as well that you need to sign, of course. Okay, and there's obviously general terms and conditions on my business page, so that's generally you dealing with Reach for Greatness Limited, and so please check through your welcome pack once we get that within the next couple of days, and say that you are agreed. But as I said, there shouldn't be anything surprising or anything bad in there that's gonna hamper you in any shape or form. That's not the idea. Okay. So lastly, referrals would be appreciated because, as you know, we need all spots to be filled before we can publish, so help is totally appreciated. And because I've only really put out this project about 2 weeks ago, and a lot of women have been on holiday, so it's been a lot of it's been some challenging to actually get all the posts filled, all the spots filled for the first book. So there's a couple missing. I'm still working through those as well. But if you can help, and of course, there are 3 other books to be filled as well. If you feel anyone that has a story and that would like to get the same sort of visibility, then please share with them as well. And I'm happy to give you thank you for that as well. How can you do this? You can spread your excitement about being involved, right? You can do this like from tomorrow. You can start, of course, I have a post that you can share, and I'll put that in the Facebook group, in the working group. But we can also get your banners ready with your profile pictures as soon as we have your picture as a collaboration project where we can announce that you are part of this and that you are already, in production of the book before the launch, right? So we can actually really get some excitement going. And you will also, so of course, when you share, that post, you may say, oh, there's, if you want the opportunity to be featured as well, then you have a link because I'm going to run webinars on a regular basis anyway. Okay. Or you can, we'll also get the Reach for Greatness TV shows and the Reach for Greatness story. So for the stories rolling out as well as from end of September, where this will be like a special Reach for Greatness show where I will have you on and we'll put a banner together as well. So it's 5, 6 7 of us, and then each of you will get like a 10-minute slot where you actually talk about your business and very briefly about your story, and then we can talk about when the book's coming out as well. So that's an additional tool that we can do in terms of helping you to become visible prior to the launch. And then also we are looking at getting you into the magazine. Once the story is written, we have the synopsis, then we'll do a club magazine as well. And yes, and once your story is written, we'll also produce an audio story. So I'd like you to then, if you're happy to do that, and if you're confident, I think that would be a really, really nice thing to do, is to actually produce a podcast out of your story. So once it's written, it's edited, and you're happy with it, then then it's about reading the story and as an audio, and using that sort of as an audio story as well, so that you can have that as well. You can market that as well. So I think it's going to be really, really beautiful, because it's so super authentic to have that story written and read by the author. And yeah, feel free to reach out to friends who might have a story, that they have a story, or that want to become visible as well. So share with them what you're doing, and that there are opportunities that they can also come into one of the next books. As I said, I will post a copy into the group as a sample post that you can use the banner as for now, until you have your own banner. Of course, you can use that as well. And you can also use posts from my profile. So I've got a few every couple of days. I'm sharing it into different groups as well. So they work quite well, because I've put all my vision behind there as well, and what the ladies can expect as well. Okay, so if you have any other ideas in terms of referrals or promotions or questions, then let me know in a minute. I'm also happy to get like a 10% coupon offer for your own friends. So if that's the case, I can put that into the Facebook group as well as an incentive. And unfortunately, I can't give that much discount, because I've literally calculated the bare minimum in terms of just covering the cost. So that's why I thought, probably as a thank you to you for helping to promote, I'd rather actually thank you for your efforts, giving you back in return a training that you can super use exactly when you're launching the book, because that would be then my thank you to you, that I'm going to construct a special webinar that will give you tangible strategies to help you implement the book into your own lead generation, by, say, using it during Facebook Live, offline events, doing some competitions. So I've got quite a number of ideas as well. And I'll get some more ideas, because I also know a specialist in that sense, who's actually already using her book in terms of how she's promoting that. So I'm gonna get some information from that lady as well. So I'd be would like to put that together for you as a thank you for helping to spread the word already, and maybe tagging your friends, sharing. Yeah. So, and as I said, I'm running fortnightly live webinars, so it's not that you need to explain what's happening. There's a link that I will post that ladies can always come on every second week. On a Tuesday night, I will actually do a live webinar where they also have the opportunity to come and speak to me live and ask questions. Of course, there are replays available. There's a sales page as well directly. So all of the material will be in the Facebook group. And I think that's it from me, my part. If you got any questions so far, I can open up now. We can ask questions on this section. And of course, the team and I will look forward to working with you completely, right? So we're super excited. So let me just stop share. So any questions, ladies, on this part? You can unmute yourself and just shoot away.
Sabine. Hello.
Hello, Gloria.
Hi.
Oops, Gloria, I've lost you.
I'm muting myself. You
Right.
got me now?
Yes,
I don't know why I don't seem to be on the screen, but can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, because the slides were very small on my screen.
Yes.
Can you repeat? How do we label the stories?
How do you
Label the stories.
Right, okay. Oh, don't worry.
That was it came out very small.
I'll put that in a post in addition.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
That's good.
No problem. Those nitty gritty details, I'll make sure I'll put that in the pinned post. So all of the information is in the one post, all the stuff that you need. Of course,
Okay.
this is also recorded, so you could always go back as well and maybe enlarge the screen.
Okay, brilliant.
All right.
Yep, fine.
Any other questions on the session?
Yes, Sabine, I had a question. It's Vicky.
Hi, Vicky.
Hi, sorry, my camera's not on. So there's 4 books, and this kind of group, is this just for the first book? Because I can't remember exactly what the topics were, but I seem to think that I felt like I would be more suitable for the second book. So maybe I jumped in too soon.
Yes, the first 2 books are open now before Christmas, and call me crazy. Maybe the timescales were a bit like whoa, because I said the first book would be written in September and launched in October, and then the second one launched just before Christmas. So maybe the timescales are gonna move a little bit. However, I'd like the first 2 books to be kind of like written at the same time, or sort of recruited for around about the same time. So yeah, you are in the right place, because Susanne also wants to be in the Hope book. The first one's about fate, and the second one hope.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you. And congratulations, because I think you're doing a great job on pulling it together, even though it is really ambitious.
It's completely ambitious. I noticed that.
I have a question, Sabine.
Yeah, yes.
So with the fate and hope, so those are the 2 categories we'd go under. Are you going to have, you said you're going to have a template. Are you going to do something a little bit more specific in what you're looking for? Or will we know that from the template?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so fate, I'm not quite sure what that one is.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of left it open a bit as well, to be honest. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it, Sharon? It's the beauty of reading into things, and because I think things do cross over. I mean, the 4 books literally are fate, hope, love, and growth. So one could argue there are so many stories, different angles that would fit into any of these categories.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think Nasreen's going to talk a little bit more, because Nasreen's actually been working on projects like this. So if you ladies don't have any more questions, then obviously we can go into the story writing, and Nasreen can talk a little bit more about in depth about what that would mean and what she would be looking for. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
That'd be great.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go back into the slides, and so would like to welcome Nasreen as the one of my team members, who is going to take charge of the copywriting and the editing piece. Maybe you can just do a very brief introduction in terms of what your experience is, and I know the ladies will know why I brought you on this project.
Well, it's about 10 p.m. my side. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Hi, the name is Nasreen, and I'm so happy and I'm so excited to be starting and kicking off this project with you. Thank you for coming on board and trusting us with your stories. It really is an honor to be working with you ladies, and going forward we look forward to having fun with you as well. I am actually an author. I have to my name 3 books, published books already. The last one became a bestseller on Amazon. And I'm about to publish my 4th in the next 2 weeks, God willing. But aside from that, I'm also a ghostwriter and I'm also an editor, and I work with some big names in publishing. I work with some big names in motivational, in leadership and motivation. And I do a lot of similar projects. I've just finished off one last week for Dr. Sensei at Ledge International in India. And what we've done is we've got 25 authors, coaches, and mentors to actually come in and tell us their stories. And just like you will be doing for the Fate edition, where we are looking at your challenges in life. You know, before you became who you became, before you broke through and made something of your life, you must have had some challenge that came your way that could have been debilitating, that could have stopped you from achieving, but that you reached within yourself and inside yourself and actually came out of it, broke through, and made a success of yourself. In other words, you took an adversity, you changed it around, and you broke through and made a success of that. Whatever that may be. Whether that was a divorce, whether that was you going penniless, closing your business down. There are so many challenges that life deals that happen to people. And then they have to work with it, and then they have to come out of it. And what we're looking at in your stories is, how did you do that? What did you do to come out of that? And why do you want to tell this to other people? Because ultimately, you will be the role model for people in similar or the same situations as yours. Not everybody has the ability to reach within themselves and to bring themselves into a situation of breakthrough. Not everybody has the tools for that. Sometimes people need a kind word from you. Sometimes people need to read your stories in order to have an aha moment. Some people actually take your stories literally, apply it to themselves, and actually do it step by step as you say you've done it to make a breakthrough. Because ultimately, ladies, what we want to do for each other and for people outside the Reach for Greatness community is we want to uplift them. We want to empower them. We want to give them a reason to live. So many ladies don't even want to live. So we're not looking for a highfalutin story. It could be something as simple as a Michelle Mueller, who I've recently worked with, who runs a Red Shoe Box project in which she tells the story about how she was homeless and how she turned that around and now runs a Red Shoe Box project in which she just gives ladies on the street a simple handout of toiletries every month, just so that they can feel like ladies. You know, it's simple stories like that that we are looking for. It doesn't have to be high end. It doesn't have to be highfalutin. It's what you did simply to change your situation and then to help others through that situation as well. So that is the crux of what we are looking for. If we can get to the slides, then I can actually give you a little bit more information about how to put that into a story with live examples.
Mm-hmm. Now, a question that I have, Nazreen, we also said it would be nice, because every time the book itself, it's not going to be a book which you need to read from start to finish. It's literally a library of stories beautiful
Yes.
library of stories. And what I like about the last page or at the end of a story is the fact that there may be a couple of golden nuggets, like a summary. Possibly we can add that, or maybe you already did that in the template, you know, so that someone can just go to the last page. So these are the learnings, and then they, you know, possibly they want to go back and read the story if they haven't read it yet. You're like a summary like this kind of thing, you know, in a box, or I don't know how, maybe it's not going to be in a box, but like with a title.
Yeah, we have built that into the template. And we have accommodated for that in the template. Of course, how it's typeset and how it's laid out will depend largely on who does it and what they do with it.
Okay,
but it is
so we have put that in. Yeah. Okay, so we know the format. Yeah. Right. You let me know. I'll just share the slides, and then you let me know which ones you want to go through in detail.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Can you see this?
Okay, I think you've pretty much gone through the process, Sabine. So let's get to the slides on the actual format.
Okay. So, and we can also send you the slides anyway, so that you can actually go back, and that would probably help Gloria seeing the information.
That would be great.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So.
Yeah. All right. So, when we're looking at the way your story will be the format in which you can write your story, at the top we want the title of your story, and an example of that would be From Zero to Hero in 20 Days. So give your story a creative title. How I Broke Through My Divorce is a good title. It tells you what the story is about. But we also want to get a little bit creative with it, because we want people to remember your stories in a way that is that grabs their attention. So get a little bit creative there. From Zero to Hero in 20 Days is a fantastic way to catch attention, because that is what we want to do. We want to grab attention at the very beginning, and we want to hold that attention. Now, if we look at what the outcomes should be for your introduction to the story, then you must do a little bit of drama. Elements of surprise and shock are always a good way to actually grab attention. And you must also appeal to the emotions of your audience. There are various ways of doing this. Questions are a good way of doing it. Using shocking or surprising sentences at the beginning of your story are a good way of doing it. And sometimes a simple way of just putting who you are across is a good way to start. A good example is this one, where a singer by the name of Shasnia Afzal, who I recently did a story with, just put in a simple introduction to herself, where she says that she was born in Kerala, India, and her dad should have named her Shasnia, but he named her Shasni, and that the Shasni has no meaning. But the paradox is that when he did name her, she believes that the paradox in giving her a name with no meaning is that at that exact moment when he named her, her life took on a different meaning. It became meaningful the moment he named her. And this is how she's chosen to introduce herself, where she says, I imagine that God decided that a child given a meaningless but unique name had to be given a unique and innate passion, and that was music and singing for me. So if you look at this introduction, it's a great way to introduce yourself, and it's a creative way of introducing yourself. Of course, you must do what is aligned to your personality, what is aligned to what you believe in, and what is close to your heart. But these are the various methods you can use to introduce your story: elements of drama, surprise, shock, appeal to the emotion of audiences, or simply use a creative way of introducing yourself into the story. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Now we come to the body of your story, and in the body of your story is where we want to look at the actual challenges that you have faced in your life. This is where we look at the nitty-gritty of your story. We look at what the problems were. We look at the solutions you found and how you actually came out of it. So this can be a good paragraph or two. Okay, this is where you want to tell the most of your story. Here, Shasni actually talks about how her dad, who knew she had this innate talent for singing, actually stopped her from doing it because he believed it was more important for her to become an educationist. Education was what he believed in. He didn't believe that talent could earn you any money whatsoever. So she goes on to talk about how her spirit was crushed because of it, how she failed to achieve anything great even in her studies because she was suppressing that need to sing, suppressing her creativeness just to please her father, just to please her family, just to fit in with cultural norms, just to fit in with family norms. Because as you know, in Indian communities, that can be quite a challenge. Especially when you are a woman, you are expected to educate yourself. And after an education, it's time to get married and have a family life. There's no actual place for being an artist or being someone that's creative. So she talks about this in the second paragraph. And this is where you want to focus on your emotions. This is where you want to focus on the crux of your story and the crux of your challenge. Because this is what fate has dealt you. So this is what you're going to talk about. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Again, in the third paragraph, you also can focus on this challenge that you have. You want to talk more about your challenges. You focus on your feelings, your emotions, and you make the audience feel exactly what you felt at that point in time. Shasni says it beautifully when she says, "You can imagine the battle between my head and my heart when every time I was felicitated for my singing, I had to remember Dad's words and suppress the passion to sing. The battle between head and heart continued, and I lost interest in my studies and failed to make entrance even into medical school." You can see that she's making you feel her pain. She's telling you, she's showing you what she felt. This is the most important thing about storytelling, people. You must show people what you are feeling. Okay, anybody can say, "I was sad." "I was sad" is okay, but in great storytelling, we want to show people what we are feeling. "I suffered depression." I didn't have depression. I suffered depression from suppressing the passion to sing. And though I did my best to conceal it, the opportunities to sing at college rose again and again, and my spirits of confidence soared. Okay? My confidence came back is a great way of saying it. But when you say my confidence soared, you imagine what the person's emotions felt like. You imagine some sort of heart in a bubble that's floating up to the sky. You've got to use a little bit of your imagination to say what you are feeling. Okay, so use a little bit of get as much creative as you want, and if you can't get there, then I will help you get there. Please don't be bogged down by what you're seeing on the screen. My job is to turn your story into something like this. Hello. This is where I come in. This is where I take what you give me and I make it like this. Okay, can we move on, please?
I'm not sure.
And then there's a breakthrough. Now you've got to talk about how you broke through. What happened that actually changed that situation around? What changed Shasni's situation around? She moved to Dubai. She went there after having 2 children in India. She went with her husband and started up a life there. Her mother was missing her, and she asked her to send her a couple of recordings because she missed hearing her daughter sing. And it was her mother who actually couldn't bear it any longer. And she took these clips and she started passing it around. And lo and behold, somebody got a hold of it, and the opportunity to start singing after 29 years came back when recording studios started approaching Shasni to actually sing again. So after 29 years, marriage and 2 children, she's now broken through, and she's now singing as she should have 29 years before. Okay, how does she say it? Unbeknown to me, she shared the clips, and I began receiving offers for albums. People in the music business were finally knocking at my door. You are showing people what is happening. At age 29, I found what made me feel alive and happy again. No matter what challenges I faced now, I could face them bravely because my soul felt renewed, uplifted from being able to sing again. So you are telling people what that breakthrough makes you feel like. How does it change you from the inside out? What's happening for you now? Okay, can we move on, please? Now, when we look at a conclusion of a story, this is where we want to teach people a lesson from what we have learned with our challenge. So you want to write one takeaway lesson that you would like to give to your readers. This could be in the form of an anecdote or a quote that will become unique to you when you are marketing your book also. My father, God bless him, has told us one thing every time when we were growing up, and still tells us this all the time. He always tells us, you never know until you come to know. And when you come to know, you will still never know. This has become something that my siblings and I use continuously in our lives. This is something you would hear us say all the time. And it's also a principle that we apply to our lives all the time because it's been instilled in us. Now, because Reach for Greatness is giving you visibility, you are going to suddenly become known personalities. And the way to becoming known personalities is by becoming known for the things that you say. Therefore, what you put in this part of the story will need to be original, it will need to be catchy, and it will need to be something that you yourself use in probably your speaking engagements. If you have radio shows, radio interviews that you will do, podcasting interviews that you will do, the Reach for Greatness TV program that you will go on, you will use these anecdotes that you come up with to actually become known, right? So you're going to put that at the end in your conclusion. How does Shasni put it? Shasni says, gratitude to him is invaluable. Faith in him is priceless. There is no point in becoming depressed over things. There is only value in thinking, in talking to your creator and trusting that he will find a way for you. So this is her USP. Whenever she talks about things, whenever she talks about her challenges, wherever she goes, this is something that she always uses. And your story, because it will make you because it's going to make you a known author, your anecdotes like these will be attached to your name forever. Okay? So make it a memorable one. Think about it. Ask yourself, how would I like my anecdote to be linked to my name? Okay? And that is the most important part about your conclusion. You want to make your conclusion as great as you made your introduction. It has to be as powerful as your introduction. Again, I'm saying to you, please don't be bogged down by what you are seeing. I will take what you give me and I will ensure that we create that kind of personality for you in your story as well, because that is what I do for other authors as well. Okay, but this is just to give you an idea of how your story should be structured, what we are looking for in the different paragraphs, in the 1,000 words that you have been given to put your story together. These are the things that we are looking for. And my job then is to make it as exciting and readable and saleable as possible. So I don't want you to stress about that. Give it to me like this and I will do the rest. Okay, I think that's about it from me. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you, Nasreen. That's just amazing. The words that you use.
I had a question.
Yes.
So Nasreen, we want it 500 to 1,000 words, but it sounds like you're going to be editing. So should we not worry if it goes a little bit over the 1,000, or do you want us to really stick to that? Or
Stick to the 1,000.
okay.
Stick to the 1,000 because what we don't want to do is do a 3,000 word story and then expect to cut it down to 1,000. Stick to 1,000 and you will be fine. 1,000 is adequate if you do it in the format I'm telling you to do it. The moment you veer off that format, you will lose. You will be going with a life story, and a life story is not what we are looking for. Okay, we must focus on the core, and the core is to tell people how to come out of the challenges that they are experiencing. How did we do it? How are we now empowering others to come out of the same, and why it is important that people should give us importance through our anecdote. Your anecdote will be attached to your name forever from now on. Okay? That is what we want to do. You're a great woman, and we want to tell the world why. So we're not focusing on life stories. We're focusing on that aspect that brought you down and turned you upside down and up all over again. That's what we want to focus on.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other questions?
Susanne says all sounds fabulous, very clear. Thank you. Okay, that's great.
I have a question, if that's okay, Nasreen.
Yes, of course.
I guess I'm having a little bit of a wobble about my story, and that I just don't feel it's compelling enough. So that was a fabulous example that you gave us, and so inspirational. And I just wonder if there's any opportunity to explore with you or with somebody the actual story that we're going to outline.
Oh, of course. If you feel a bit wobbly about it, what we can do is we can set up a coaching call between you and I. But the first thing I want to tell you is that everybody has a story, and everybody's story is valuable and fabulous. There is no such thing as I don't have a challenge and I've never had one. Everybody has one. Actually, people have many, but there's always one that you want to tell a story about. So through a coaching call, we'll be able to go through the possibilities and we'll be able to bring that out onto paper.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you.
Use the contact details to actually set up an appointment with me, and we can catch up on WhatsApp or something like that. I'm not sure where in the world you are. I'm in Turkey, and if you're in the UK, then I'm 2 hours ahead of you.
Yeah.
I'm usually available in the early evenings, around 7-ish my time, 7, 8, 9 my time. Will be, I think, around 9 my time will be about 7 p.m. your time. 8 my time will be around 6 your time. So early evening-ish is the best time to contact me, and we can get through whatever it is you feel you're not seeing at this point in time. We'll put a vision to it.
Okay, fabulous.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else feeling like that?
And I think if they did, then they know the way forward, because I think we all think we're not, maybe not worthy, our stories are not worthy, or we can't put it in that way. So, and you just said
everybody
it,
has
we all
a
have a
story,
and it's just about thinking about which part we want to tell.
Yeah. For some of you, it will come easy. For others, it might take some time to think about it. I find that when I receive a story, especially from someone, and I don't know how to put it, how to give it the verb that it needs, I take some time to think about it. And just like that, you should take some time, a couple of days to think about it, and it will come to you. It will come to you. It will come to you naturally. And when you feel the urge to write, then write, because that's when it's going to come out. That could be at 2 a.m. Do it.
Good.
Do it. Get up and do it. Now carry the pen and paper in your handbags and wherever you go, because wherever the inspiration strikes, in the toilet, in the restaurant, while you're shopping, while you're sleeping, you need your pen and paper, because trust me, you will forget it if you don't. So those are the tips I can give you, ladies, and don't worry about it too much. Don't stress about it. We're here to turn your stories into great stories, and it will be fine.
Okay. And to see that Parul has joined us as well, so I just want to introduce her as well, because then she is the one that's going to take that to the next level. Let me see if she's around. Parul, are you here? Parul, hello.
Okay, difficult? No,
Hello. Oh, maybe she's on a call, another call at the moment. So I can't request a video. Yeah, so ladies, if you've got any other questions, but obviously I want to get Parul as well. She's the other half of the team who will then take the story and will, she will manage the typesetting and the publication. Really, she will know how to put it onto Amazon and how to help us become an international bestseller as well. So she knows all the nitty-gritty, and maybe if she's around and we can ask her some questions as well. But any more questions for me or Nazreen in the meantime? No? Parul, are you there? Maybe not.
Oh,
Yes.
I think she's just here to listen.
Okay. Oh, it would have been nice just to say hello. You there to say hello? She was on the first webinar, so in case, but you'll meet her in due course. But I'll just message her to say, are you there to say hello? Otherwise, what I'll do is we'll get all the documents on the Google Drive. So there's the last bits and pieces we need to put together. And what I'll do is I'll then share the link in the Facebook group with a list of all the bits. So we've got a welcome email, we've got some terms and conditions, and then we've got a template that you can then use to write your story. So in terms of writing, it's literally type it into a Word document. I think that's the best way, isn't it? Because hopefully what if you don't have Word, say? Can you use like the Google version of Word?
Yeah, it's no problem.
Okay, so something like that would be the best. So don't use PowerPoint or any other sort of programs. That would be the easiest.
It's really difficult to edit.
Yeah.
The other thing I must tell you, ladies, is those of you who faced challenges from husbands, boyfriends, companies that you might have worked for, anything and anybody that has a name that can sue us or sue you, don't use it in the story. Okay? Avoid using names of companies and people that still exist in your life or may have access to the book. Anybody who can sue you or sue us, don't go there. If you want to talk about your challenge, talk about it using my husband, my ex-husband, my ex-boyfriend, no names, and definitely no names of companies, especially companies. Don't do that. They can swallow us all up whole. I have to say, from working on this past project, we had one gentleman who insisted that he wanted to tell us a story about a bank that was conducting fraudulent activity, and he gave us the name of the bank in the story and what have yous. And when we pulled it out, he was still insistent that we use it, and we pulled it out again, and he was still insistent that we use it. And eventually, we just had to get tough with that kind of thing, because if the bank in India actually finds out that their name is used in the story, because it's a very prominent bank, it will cause big problems. But these are the things we want to avoid, and from experience, I'm saying to you, just please don't go there for your own sanity. What else can I say to you? Also, if you have experienced challenges from family members, these family members are still a part of your life. And once you write the story, look, sometimes family can be cruel, and they make us face challenges that we should not be facing, or we should not have faced. Okay, but if they are still a part of your lives, and if there is 1 ounce of a feeling in your heart that you would be hurting someone's feelings, or that you don't want them to read this, then rather write the story in a way that is acceptable. Okay. When Shasni, for example, gave us her story, it was all out explicit, my father is the reason. 2 days later, she came back to us and was suffering from a guilt trip and said, I need to change that, I can't do it. Okay, so just watch that kind of thing as well. If your family and your friends are a part of your challenge, and if there's 1 ounce of guilt that you're going to feel, find a way to do it that doesn't make you feel that way. Okay.
And this is probably something that you can help with as well, because I probably will be stuck on there myself.
If you can't do it, call me up. I'll help you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Ladies, I think we're at the end of our call. Thank you so much for participating. And oh yeah, Parul's here now, so timing.
Hi.
Of
Hi,
course,
Sabine.
we
Hi,
need to
Nasreen.
introduce.
Hi, everyone.
Of course, before we go, we need to introduce Parul, who knows then what to do with all the stories and make it a big success. So, if you can just briefly introduce yourself, and I've already kind of said roughly what we will be doing, that we will do a launch webinar, and then you'll take that over. But if you let ladies know who you are and what sort of projects you've been working with, but again, you've got a really impressive background. So that's the reason why we chose to work together, right?
Yeah, thank you so much, Sabine, and thanks for having me here. So my name is Parul, as you can see on the screen, and I am myself a best-selling author and a publisher helping authors self-publish their books and market them properly, launch them, and essentially make them bestsellers on Amazon and Kindle. So I've been doing that for a few years now, and have had the privilege of working with more than 100 authors on their books. But I did a similar project with moms last year, and that project was a huge success. We had more than 100 moms write their stories about motherhood as a part of that book. So once you send your stories, and Nasreen helps them beautify it. What I do is I take over the project essentially, and then work with Amazon and try my best to position the book so it becomes a bestseller, and all of us associated with the book are able to get their due honors and feel successful and a part of this success is my goal with this book and this project.
Yeah, and that's not all, isn't it, Parul? I mean, it's more than that. Not just on Amazon, but you also help us with us going out and also influencing our own friends and all our followership as well through social media, because you know how to position.
Sure. Amazon, I would say that is the backyard, where we need to be to plant our seed. But once the seed is planted, it grows into a big tree. And for that, we have to nurture it. And by nurturing, I mean, we have to, get our team involved. We have to, get social media involved. We have to make sure that we are doing the right kind of PR, the right kind of marketing. So a lot goes into it, just for the sake of this call. And I know everybody has been waiting for a long time. I just gave a real short story here. The gist of
I just want to make sure that everyone goes away thinking, yes, we know exactly what we're doing, and that we have planned this through thoroughly.
Yes, and there are portals, so it won't be just on Amazon. It will also be on Barnes and Nobles, almost like 400 online portals. Eventually, we'll also try to put it in libraries across the US. So we'll, all those things one step at a time. But essentially, the first would be getting the book out there, getting all our beautiful stories compiled in a beautiful book, and publishing the book.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Parul. And the book, by the way, I'm always using my friend's book. It's gonna be sort of size. That's why 1,000 words. It actually fits into a small handbag as well, and I think that's what we want. We have a nice cover, very nice feel to it, and a high quality. So, and Parul knows all that stuff, all the technical specifications and so on. So
right.
We'll get it there. We'll get it to the standard.
And yeah, all of us will also be able to, create our Amazon affiliate accounts. And if we are already authors, well and good enough, but we'll also be able to create our author accounts on Amazon, which is essentially your one-page website on Amazon. So what happens, if let's say it's really good for your business, or if you are doing any speaking engagements, or just looks really good on your resume, if you could send that link, being an author, to people and your prospective clients. So, and throughout the process, as and when we reach that stage, I'll be recording videos and posting in the group, letting people know how we could set our Author Central accounts and Amazon affiliate accounts. Brilliant. And make the best of it.
Brilliant, thank you. Any questions to Parul? I know we are going to do a special webinar when we come to launch, of course, with Parul. So I'm sure there will be more questions, but if there's anything urgent, then you have the option to unmute yourself very briefly. And of course, Claire, I have seen your question. Are you going to email us? I think I'm going to use Facebook with the Google Drive. Okay, I'll give you the link, so we can just upload all the information on the G Drive, so that it's going to be much easier, rather than emailing each other documents and bio. So you will just drop your information into the Google Drive. Okay, thank you, great call. Felicia, I'm also very happy to have you. Vicky says, fabulous, thank you so much. It's very exciting. Louise, yeah, thank you so much as well. And the welcome pack will be on the Google Drive as well, Claire. So don't worry, I will make sure it. Worst case scenario, I'll go live in the Facebook group and I will explain everything again, and I will tag all of you. Okay, so don't worry. Gloria, thank you. It seems like we have the right people in this project. Yeah, fabulous. Thank you too. Hope I didn't miss anything. As of course, this will be available as a recording, and yeah, let's get your story started. If you want to send in your bio and your pictures already into the Google Drive, then we can do this ASAP, so that we can also arrange a banner for you, so that you can already start telling your people that you're involved in this project, and maybe tag anyone that you think may also have a story or wants to get involved, because obviously we need to reach 25 women to be able to launch this book. So hopefully by end of September we'll have all the spots filled. As I said, I'm doing my best. I'm running twice a week a webinar, and I'm reaching out as well every single day. But I think if we all can spread the word together, then probably things will go much, much faster. So, okay. Have a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, night, wherever you are. And we'll be speaking soon. Get writing. Lots of love.
Happy writing, people.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. And I'm also on the group, so feel free to ask me any questions if you have.
Fabulous. Thank you so much,
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.